Hello everybody, Tyrone TG3 here. Pokemon Horizons Episode 7, Training Captain PEAKachu. And the title's confusing because they're not training Captain PEAKachu. It's Captain PEAKachu training Liko, Roy, Fuecoco, and Sprigatito. It's not Captain PEAKachu, for all intents and purposes, is already trained. At least from what we know of. The training involves Captain PEAKachu. It's the leader training Liko, Spriggs, Roy, Fuecoco. And they're the training from Captain PEAKachu. I guess they could have clarified that better in the title, but I guess it's going from Japanese to English. So, yeah, anyway, episode 7. So, real briefly before I get into the review of episode 7, there's some stuff I left out from episode 6, and I apologize. It's mostly because in episode 6, this is literally the last, I want to say it's towards the butt end. It's in the middle. It's after the major stuff when Roy leaves, but it happens in this in-between section of the episode, and then cuts back to Liko and Roy stuff to end the episode off. So it's a lot of stuff happening as a conclusion. And honestly, this is technically the start of Amethyst's part to his journey. So what I'm talking about, obviously, is Amethio, and I just called him Amethyst on accident. Amethio is reporting to headquarters that he failed to capture Liko or the pendant. And he also learned more information, though, about the ancient Pokeball and the Black Rayquaza. But unfortunately, because he failed his mission, because Liko got away, he's off the mission. He can't do it anymore. Instead, there's a whole nother Explorers member whose job it is to go and capture Liko and the pendant. And honestly, if you've watched Avatar: The Last Airbender in any sense of the word, you know what this plot is. You know what this plot is. It's Zuko. It's just Zuko. It's literally Zuko, the Fire Prince of the Fire. It's the exact same thing. Literally the same thing. Like almost beat for beat. It's the same thing. I wouldn't be surprised if Amethio winds up joining the crew after almost towards the later half of the series. It's literally his plot. It's his plot. Right down to Commander Zhao wounding up taking his spot, doing his job for it. It's literally the exact same thing. It's almost scary how similar it is. It's Pokemon, so it's a lightly touched version of it, but it's for all intents and purposes, it's the same plot. It's literally the same plot. It does lead to some mysteries as to how this is going to go, because now Amethio's new objective is that he's going to go find the Black Rayquaza instead. So he's basically doing the same thing that the Rising Voltaclers are doing, but he's going to try to do it first. So essentially he just views them as enemies, but he views them as enemies in a different section. Whereas Commander Zhao, the other Explorers members' now objective is to capture Liko. So there's two sides. I wouldn't be surprised if there's a situation where the dude does capture Liko and Sprigatito, and Amethio winds up breaking in, sabotaging, and working with Liko in order to break her out. And then Liko is like, Amethio, why are you helping? He's like, I'm not helping you. I just want so-and-so to fail, or something like that. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens, is what I'm saying. But without further ado, let's get back into the plot of episode 7. Episode 7 basically has Roy and Liko reflecting on the things that have happened. Realize that Amethio basically almost kicked their butts. They need to realize that they got to get stronger in order to combat against the Explorers if they were to ever attack again. In addition to all of that, they suddenly learn that there is another crew member in the Rising Voltaclers who has yet to reveal themselves. Usually they are locked up in the room the whole time. It is revealed that this 8th member of the Rising Voltaclers also does streaming as Nidothing from time to time, obviously, which is why we've been seeing those Nidothing sections. Now, it is also revealed that this crew member is the niece of Murdoch, the chef. Now, I'm very conflicted on this plot line, this twist, only because, and a lot of people in the comments when I talked about this during the Pokepod, they definitely were telling me that, at least during the reaction, they were definitely telling me that, oh, they're building up to this. They built up to it since the first episode. That's understandable. But to have a character be locked in their room the whole time, and I get introversion, I completely do. I'm not going to try to step on the toes of introversion. It's a very hard pill for me to swallow that this character's just been hidden in the airship the whole time. Even during the times where the airship was badly damaged and they basically had to land. There's a little sliding door, I guess, where food and stuff goes in and out of. Quaxley serves as like the messenger. So you got that part. But between the volume of the live streams or YouTube videos or whatever that Needle Thing is doing, as well as the attacks from the explorers, there's no real way I can believe that this 8th party member's just been sort of stowed in that room the whole time. And there's no way I can believe that Liko just hasn't seen this character since. I mean, even a simple walk to the bathroom, going to the kitchen, at any point, the airship isn't like, the airship's big, but it's not like gargantuan. It's extremely hard for me to really buy that for 6 episodes, we have not seen this character show up in the airship once. It's like, I don't know. That's a hard pill for me to really swallow. It's Pokemon, so obviously they're doing stuff like that. And a lot of people have also told me, well, it's Freed. Freed is the one that always tells things at last minute. Freed is the one that that doesn't bring things up until it's crucial. That's true for Freed. And I even made a point to say this in an earlier review, that one of my worries would be that this gives them the permission to pull ass pulls out of almost nowhere and say, oh yeah, that's been happening all the time. But this isn't Freed. Murdoch straight up says that this is his niece, and he doesn't seem like the forgetful type like Freed is. It feels to me like, and yes, I understand they brought this up in dialogue before, the characters would say something nodding to there's kids on the ship when there was only Liko at the time, or go to her room, or whoever the mystery person is. It's really hard for me to swallow that down though, because again, the ship's been under attack multiple times up to this point, and on top of all of that, it was crashed in a certain area where they needed to land. There was a time where all the ship members needed to do all hands on deck in order to defend it from the explorers. There's just a lot of this I can't believe. And again, this isn't taking a snap back at introversion at all. I completely get that condition. I think the issue here is that I have to sit up there and believe that even with those conditions, at no point evacuating the ship for the safety of someone's health is going to be trumped by, well, she just doesn't want to come out of the room. Like, it's very hard for me to sit and believe, and that's kind of in the way. Plus side, though, I do like the idea that there's a technician on, well, not a technician, but a tech person on the ship, a nerd savvy person, someone who knows the gadgets and gizmos. In fact, it's revealed that she is the one that created the Rising Volt Tacklers app that allows them to get navigations and information they need on their specific objectives at the time. She even pretty much knows how she could probably locate the Black Rayquaza. But she's not going to give that information for free. At the moment, Roy and Liko aren't strong enough, and she doesn't really see any point in investing into those two. That is, until they decide to start training. Roy and Liko start off by doing a Pokemon battle, to which case the battle's very underwhelming. Both Pokemon are very unfocused and extremely tired. The second battle is them against Freed, and when Freed's originally about to use Charizard, instead, Captain Pikachu shows up and we get the highlight of the episode. Captain Pikachu shows to be extremely powerful compared to Roy and Liko, and is able to dodge moves effectively and barely even have to attack Roy and Liko at any point. Thankfully, though, since Liko is such an analytic, she's able to look at the double team patterns and realize they're in a zigzag. They're not just at random. the attacks start to become more focused, more intense. However, Spriggs and PEAKachu just don't have enough energy and they wear out. Captain PEAKachu wins, but it does show that they're a lot more focused. Because of this level of focus being enhanced, Roy and Liko decide to train together again. In this battle, though, Roy and Liko are a lot stronger, and Sprigatito winds up winning out in the end because, again, the Pokemon are young and they don't have much stamina at this point. And I do kind of like this. I like the fact that Pokemon Horizons is taking its time when it comes to the activation of Pokemon ability. Like, the Pokemon are just flat out overpowered right at the gate. The animation is a little wonky here too, but I'm going to be extremely generous here and take it up as, since they are just beginning, the two Sprigatito and PEAKachu, that their attacks aren't going to be as solid, flowing, and seasoned as Cerulegi's and Captain Pikachu's and Charizard's. I'm going to go ahead on a limb here and say that the animation has to be a little slow and clunkier to reflect on the fact that the Pokemon's moves aren't as realized. With the few exceptions being when Sprigatito gets a power boost using leafage and attacks and does like the large amount of leafage. And even then, that's a far and few between thing. But for a practice battle, this is an appropriate speed for two Pokemon that are essentially around level 5. Obviously, I know levels don't exist in Pokemon, but this is just to reflect the fact that the Pokemon are young and still have a lot of work to do. So it's perfectly believable that they're not going to be as powerful as they need to be. Moving forward, though, after the training, it seems that they're worthy enough to get some type of information and learn that the Black Rayquaza is in Paldea. So they make a beeline towards Paldea, which they were already headed to anyway. But now they're headed over to Paldea for multiple objectives. One of them to get the Black Rayquaza. And overall, I think this episode was really good. No Explorers part in this episode at all. It was just training. Really loved seeing the aggressiveness of Captain Pikachu. I'm loving Captain Pikachu's battle style. It looks like it's a harder, heavy-hitting Pokemon compared to Ash's Pikachu, whereas Ash's Pikachu was a balance of speed and power. Captain Pikachu seems like it's more evasiveness and raw power. Like, it hits heavier than Pikachu. Probably not physically as fast as Pikachu, but it covers that by just using Double Team. So, I don't know. I like that level of battle style. I like the separation between the two that really allows us to see the differences between both Pikachus. Gotta say, I really love Liko learning and getting stronger and growing during the course of the fight. That's a really admirable thing to watch from her and Sprigatito's growth, as well as Roy and PEAKachu's. It looks like Roy and PEAKachu seem to be more of the passion and power, while Liko's going to be more of the strategy. And I'm glad they both have very unique battle styles to reflect upon that. With that being said, though, if I had to give this episode a rating as of right now, I'm definitely going to go. I love character growth and development episodes, and I love that they took a time to do this. I love that they didn't hop straight to the next thing immediately. I love the fact that they did take the time to stop and go, hey, let's train up, let's get stronger, let's work on those things so that it feels more justifiable every time they move. I hope we get like an XY situation where they take moments to battle each other before or maybe at the end of episodes. I think that'd be really cool, kind of like how Ash and Clement had Pokemon battle bouts with each other on episodes. But if I had to give it a rating as of right now, and I didn't give last episode's a rating, last episode's rating, I would definitely have to say would probably get around I would definitely say probably a 7.5, maybe a 7. This one's going to go ahead and range around the, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7 as well. I'm going to give it a solid 7. Episode did feel kind of short after the Pikachu stuff. Maybe a little bit more, but it's a training episode, so I'm glad we at least took the time to stop and smell the roses. So for a generous side, I'll give it a 7.5, just to show that there is more enhancement to that. I believe it's literally the 8th crew member. She's going to be the thing that was just the hard pill to swallow that kind of hurts the score. A little bit. That and the animation. But other than that, solid 7 to 7.5 out of 10. Thinking that it's still above average. Still a pretty good episode. But with that being said, the next episode is going to be titled The Secret of the Door That Can't Be Opened. And with that said, I'll see you all then, everybody. Tyrone TG3 out. If you want to know where most of my time is spent, head on over to my Twitch channel to watch me stream games on Tuesdays through Thursdays, as well as Saturdays and Sundays. Also, be on the lookout on the PokePod, a podcast stream on my friend TG3's channel, as we discuss the latest Pokemon anime episodes, as well as anime, manga, video games, and other fun topics. That's it. Go do those other things. This video's over.